we can kick over to news, which like we have our like big news story, which I think we'll actually even jump into that.
Let's just start with it because like it's
we'll
gonna
just
be
start
a
with it
because
I'm gonna move this other one down below it because it's basically at the top. But I'm gonna preface it just by saying like we've spent a lot of time and a lot of these past couple episodes like really I guess
like 6 months
nailing Microsoft to the wall, but what happened last Wednesday is probably one of the worst things that's ever happened to this division of this company. At the point that I think we've talked about before, but certainly now I don't think anyone would disagree that it is a darker and worse time for Xbox than the Don Matrick fiasco of 2013.
We have
sunk so much lower than that.
Fucking accelerated past it. Don Matrick was an idiot who said something wrong about a system that was putting in something that was going to be a thing 5 years later anyway.
But look at the ramifications that had for the entirety of Xbox for this whole time.
Yeah, it's even crazier to go back farther and realize that, like, as someone who worked during the 360 like launch era and saw how the Xbox was a good system, it was like a computer almost. I always called it the Dreamcast 2. It was a very good system. Yes, and it got better as it went. They changed the controller. Exclusive games were pretty good on it. Like they were actually making exclusive games that were like new and fresh and people loved, and Forza and Halo, and this is just original Xbox. Like they had a sports division that made sports games for a long time.
For a while.
They had Project Gotham, which is a dead franchise for decades now. But like you saw the progression, and then with the 360, they're like, we're gonna ramp this shit up, and they killed it. They killed it from the jump. The 360 was on fire.
Revisionist history would try to tell you that, Sony won that generation, which like they did slightly, but in North America, everybody you knew had an Xbox.
As someone who,
everybody.
Again, I don't, as someone who sold them for the entire generational cycle, no. People were not buying PlayStation 3s for years.
It was at least till the Slim. Yeah.
But for them to come out with that Xbox One and Matrick to waddle out there and not even know what he's doing, that seems like a distant memory.
It does. Like, it's weird when I think back on it. Like, that wasn't even E3. That was their special event they had a couple weeks before E3. And all they spent that entire event talking about was TV and movies and how this is an all-in-one entertainment device.
The one system
that's not what people wanted.
Right.
Exactly. And then when you got to E3, they actually showed good games. Because remember, the Xbox One had a better launch lineup than the PS4 in terms of games.
It had more like exclusive stuff that was more interesting.
Yeah, as it went on, obviously the PS4 was better in terms of exclusives, but it took a while to get there. And on the flip side, Xbox kind of stopped getting very good exclusive games, and they kind of only ever continued that trend into this generation. So by spending all this time buying more studios and keep promising the games are coming,
everything
the games
was
are coming.
About the games. It was all about the games. We have more games where gamers play games.
And so with all of that being said, it leads us to what did we determine? This is like the fifth or sixth round of layoffs in 18 months,
somewhere around there. But like this is the big one.
This is the big one. So what I'll do here is I'll go through what the biggest things that are gone and what they affect. So the biggest one, this is kind of the one that specifically pissed everybody off, and a lot of people are out because of this, is they shuttered the initiative and canceled Perfect Dark.
Crazy.
And considering that is one of the few games that, like, you can even go to any PlayStation fan and they would be like, boy, that Perfect Dark game looked really cool though. That's the one where, like, it also leads to scuttle that's been going around, like how much of that footage we saw was really real versus what was
so there's
not.
Stuff that says a lot of it was fake, and then like a guy who worked on it supposedly said, well, it was technically in the game, but it was only if you played it exactly the way that we needed for this demo to happen.
Yeah. So
you can make an argument that that's not really real then, because that's optimal conditions for
a lot of what they showed was part
thing.
of their vertical slice for that game.
Right.
So that would lead you to believe that most of it was not real.
Made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other thing. The game was in development at that point. Had been at this point has been in development for 5 years. And remember, when was it? Was it like 2023 when we learned, hey, Crystal Dynamics is going to help?
We're bringing
with this game.
people in to help.
Yeah,
we're bringing in people who can't figure out how to make a Tomb Raider game, even though they just made 3 Tomb Raider games
to
help
make Perfect Dark, right?
So that was already kind of a I don't know
and
kind of a thing.
Obviously, like Microsoft doesn't own Crystal Dynamics, so like they're off this project, but nobody lost their job at Crystal Dynamics that we know of.
Well, the other thing about Perfect Dark is like you and I have talked about it for a long time. Like I'm a huge Perfect Dark guy. You like Perfect Dark.
It's been 20 years.
we gave up on this being a real game a year ago.
Yes.
It was a joke. Like even when they showed that thing, we were like, oh, it's a real game.
Is it though?
How much of that was made? Right.
Did I dream that?
Right. It's just so that's number one.
That was like the real big shocker. Whereas the next one to me wasn't shocking.
I don't know. How shocked were you that Perfect Dark was canceled? How shocked? 1 to 10, 10 being knocked you out of your seat.
Probably like a 7 or an 8. Like because I didn't.
That's a little more than me.
Of the things that I could foresee being canceled, was not on that list.
Oh, that was always near the top
for me.
There's one other one. There's one other one. We'll talk about that. If this gets canceled, we got a huge problem.
Yeah, we'll talk about that after we go through. The next one is the one I expected, which is Rare and Everwild.
Oh yeah, that was
so Rare. So Rare, they're losing a lot of people. Everwild has been in development since 2019. We haven't even seen anything on that game since maybe 2023.
When Sea of Thieves took off, that game died.
Yeah. It sucks, but like Sea of Thieves it's on our list of stuff to go and play.
It's on a list of a game that I've played that was very good at the time I played it, and it's only better now.
Here's the one that I think I see a lot of people clinging to, and like I don't know anything about it. Is they're calling it Project Blackbird, which was the ZeniMax online MMO game that they were making, because apparently there's a lot of promise behind the scenes, but it never was unveiled.
But it apparently had just gotten to this part where they were like, because they were building a whole new engine for it. They weren't using the ESO engine. It was a whole new thing. They had just gotten all of that kind of like settled, and this was when they were looking to hire people to ramp it up.
I feel like this might have been a like Game Awards this year kind of thing they would have shown. Yeah. Like we're getting to that point, but canceled. A lot of layoffs there.
I know someone personally who was let go because of that one. Did not know, and I don't know if we're going to talk about it in a little bit, but we might as well talk about it now. But a lot of these people who got fired didn't know they were fired.
No, we'll talk about it when we're done going through the studios. But that's another bad part of it. John Romero's studio, that Microsoft. To be fair, not a Microsoft studio, but they were funding his studio's new game, and this is the craziest one because. Literally, Microsoft heads were at that studio looking at what they were doing the day before these layoffs and all this stuff and said everything looked good.
Didn't they just play Everwild like a couple months ago?
That was another one too. It was the MMO, but yeah. So, and then literally the very next day they decided to pull funding on this game. Now, the one thing about this, unlike all the other ones, is there's still a chance somebody else might pick up and fund this. So, and I think it's John Romero.
Someone will do it. Yes.
One half of Doom. So
he's Daikatana too, right?
I think so, yeah.
Which is kind of a joke game, but I think people love it for different reasons.
And the last like really big one, and then I'll go down some of the smaller ones. And we first learned it was half the team, and then we learned now it's the whole thing, and that is Turn 10. The people that make Forza, not Forza Horizon, but Forza Motorsport, which has been around since original Xbox.
It was a pillar. You would argue it was one of the top 3.
The Gran Turismo of Xbox.
The Gran Turismo killer.
Yes, it was for a long time.
It was because it was a reliable racing game that came out on time and was very good every time.
Yeah.
They would bring out fucking cars on stage and be like, check out this fucking car.
Every
and then they
E3
show it to you
that
on
they were
screen and it
announcing
would
it.
look the fucking same.
Yes. Every E3 they do that.
It was a pillar. It was Halo, Gears, Forza. Those were the three you could set your fucking watch to if you loved the Xbox.
Mm-hmm. But that whole studio is just gone.
Gone.
That one's the crazy one. That like
bananas.
So,
it should be noted that Horizon still exists.
Yeah, Playground is still exists. We're going to talk about them in a minute.
Playground, huh?
So after talking about those ones, there was they have not confirmed the number of people that were at Halo Studios that were laid off. Raven Software, which has just become a Call of Duty hub. High Moon, which has just become a Call of Duty hub. Sledgehammer as well. Blizzard, the entire team that worked on Warcraft Rumble is gone, and then kind of one of the crazier ones, they laid off 10% or 200 people that make Candy Crush.
That's a weird one, but you got to figure at this point, Candy Crush can't need that many people.
I guess not, because I look at that one and kind of think of like a Marvel rival situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So where it's like, well, the game's kind of set. So
yeah.
But yeah, just it was done extremely messy in terms of how they fired people, because there were people that just kind of found out. There were people that found out, like, they woke up in the morning, they looked at their Slack and were like, hey, I don't have access, and then saw the news online before they were even told that they were being let go.
At best, they got an email.
Saying, at best,
thanks,
email.
Get out.
Basically, yeah. And it's just what a disaster.
Just everything that came out, because it was one of those things where it was such a big thing that, like, little pieces kept coming. But, like, every little thing that came out, it was just like, man, this makes you look even worse. And this makes you look even worse.
Well, the sad thing about this one, too, is, like, it was rumored for at least 2 weeks ahead of time. Like, hey, these layoffs are going to hit on July, first week of July. So we kind of saw it coming, but I don't think anybody thought it would be this big.
It's crazy.
This devastating.
Yeah.
But it's to the point where, like, it's literally gutted any momentum this brand had.
At this point,
anything.
Point, what is Xbox? What is it anymore? Because not only is there this, but a month ago we're making these two Asus handhelds where we're just putting our stamp and our logo on the box. But these things are going to be $1,000, and we just raised the price of all of our systems after they've been out for 5 years. But
they're still at that price.
They're going to be at that price they're not going down. They just aren't. And
but Sony hasn't raised their prices in America, which is crazy.
Because they're smart and they realize, like, look, man, we're already selling more. If we want to nail it in, we don't have to.
Hell, Prime, it's Prime Day going on right now. They're on sale on Amazon. Like, if you want a PS5 or a Pro,
because you got to figure that Sony knows at this point, like, they have reached most of what their install base could be.
Yeah.
Because
I would agree with
like,
that.
at a certain point, like, outside of, like, the Switch or Nintendo systems where it makes sense for a household to have more than one a lot of the time. Like, I have 3 Switches. if you count my kids, like, but that's because that's like, I need one, you need one, you need one. A PlayStation, for the most part, on average, it's probably 1.4 per household at most.
Yeah.
Like, you have 2, but you have a reason to have 2. Even then, you don't even use one of them that much. So you have to figure that, like, they know that they're kind of, like, maxing out on install base. But that's why they seem lately, PlayStation seems to be lately, like, doubling down on premium and extra and actually trying to make those better, even though they still aren't doing what they should be doing with it and just putting every first-party title on it a year after it comes out. You don't want to do it day one? Fine. You don't have to.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
To be fair, you shouldn't, and Microsoft's proving that's a pretty fucking dumb idea now. But
it is.
Facts.
But a year later, MLB The Show, every version of MLB The Show from before this year should be on the fucking... I still don't understand that.
I don't get that one either.
But, like, what... Going back to, like, what is an Xbox now? What possible reason... Could you need to own one?
My Xbox to play a game in
Indiana
almost a month
Jones.
now. Yeah, no, for you is Indiana Jones.
I borrowed your Xbox to play Indiana Jones.
Because I
didn't want to wait 4 months to play.
No, And I'll tell you another thing too. I just did today because for whatever reason last fall I decided to buy a physical copy of Dragon Age 3 or Dragon Quest 3 HD for the Xbox. And today, because it was on sale on PlayStation, I bought a physical copy there, and I'm just going to trade in the Xbox one because I would rather play it on the PlayStation. So I'm just at that point. It's weird to say that, but like I'm at that point where I don't even feel like turning the system on.
There's no reason to turn on.
There's no
Gears of War comes out in a month on PlayStation,
and they've confirmed the full games on the disc.
I've had that hot take for a while where I would argue that Microsoft won the console war, just because of like they're selling all stuff. I hereby rescind it. They may have won the
software
battle
war
of releasing software on another console and making a lot of money off of that, but console war, they have turned the gun around and shot themselves in the face multiple times.
For sure.
And the thing that's the craziest part about it is because it's Microsoft and they have endless amounts of money from other divisions, they really don't seem to fucking care. Everything you listen to what we'll get into Phil in a minute, but you listen to what Phil and Matt Booty and Sarah Bond, out of all of this, they're all like, things are great. We're fucking killing it, dude.
They say it all the time.
But they're
and
still
the sales
saying
numbers show it though.
They're still saying it after this happened.
Mm-hmm.
His email was like, "We're doing fucking awesome. Get out."
Yeah. How about the fact that the day of the firings he was sitting and playing Indiana Jones,
hanging out, playing Indiana Jones, playing a Bethesda game after he
somebody made the joke was he was trying to scroll through the credits to see if there's anybody he missed. Because like God, it was brutal. But like again, at the same point, like what is going on with that whole thing? Like at this point, it just seems silly to me. They keep going in this direction of saying everything's fine, pretending everything's okay. The brand's never been better, but they can't nail down this message of exactly what they want the brand to be. And then they keep firing and laying off everybody. Any momentum that they had with like Perfect Dark or any of these other games are lost to the point that you and I have been joking for the last week. When is Fable going to get canceled?
January.
You think like, and the thing is, it's a sad thing to say, but I feel like that could easily happen.
It's now completely on the table.
Yeah.
There's no reason to believe that it's safe for any reason. When is the last time you saw Fable?
The last time we saw Fable was when they announced it was delayed in February.
Okay.
And they put out that beta footage.
And when was the last time you saw it before that? A year.
Jesus. E3 time last year.
Yeah.
At that big showcase.
But that's it.
Mm-hmm. Did you like how they had to come out and say that none of the games in this year's showcase are going to be canceled?
Yeah.
They had to say that.
But the thing is, you can't they've shown almost as much Fable as they did Perfect Dark. And I'm supposed to believe that game comes out?
Yeah. I feel like we've only seen very scripted parts of Fable.
Yes.
And very little gameplay.
And a cutscene.
And a cutscene.
Not even a cutscene, a CG rendered scene. That's not a cutscene.
We haven't had one of those like developer directs where I'm like, oh, this actually seems like a real ass game. It doesn't, yeah. So I don't know. And also remember we were talking about this too this week. Like the other big thing that happens for them this fall is Outer Worlds 2 comes out. It's their first $80 game. Nobody is going to buy that game for $80.
No.
Like
I'm not.
You right, like you are the picture of the customer for Outer Worlds 2.
I love Outer Worlds. I love the first
you're not
one.
going to pay $80.
Very good game.
And I don't blame you.
Absolutely not. And I won't pay $80 because I know that game will be $40 at some point.
If it comes out in October, I could realistically see it being down to 60, maybe 50 by Black Friday.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
It could be like a Friday deal. It's $50.
Yeah.
But, and only because no one's going to fucking buy it.
No.
You and I were talking, obviously, we've talked a lot about this, offline and stuff.
I mean, it's been, the thing about this news story has been a week and a half.
Yeah,
so,
it's been a topic of conversation amongst anyone who gives a shit about games since it happened. But we were joking, it's like, is Elder Scrolls 6 the last one? And I told you, what if Elder Scrolls 5 is the last one?
Yeah, right.
Because you cannot tell me that game is safe. It should be, because it will make an insane amount of money, and it's guaranteed to sell day one at $80. Will be $80 minimum.
Oh,
It's
easily.
It's guaranteed to sell day one.
They will maximize that.
But can you tell me 100% sure that game's coming out?
No, nobody can.
Not anymore.
Nobody can.
But the thing is when Sony tells me we're making another Horizon or something, that game will come out.
Oh,
if they utter the words Last of Us 3, damn straight it's coming out.
You wait a while, but yeah.
You'll be waiting a while, but it will come out.
Yes.
Like, do you have any thought that Intergalactic could be canceled by Sony?
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
But
I think we were all shocked when Concord got canceled.
Because that's a whole different animal, but it was such a crazy thing for them to do. But if they tell me they're going to make Ghost of Yotai, it would be unprecedented for that game to not come out.
Right?
I mean, obviously they just did a showcase and it's closer than anything else, but I don't believe a single word Xbox says about anything.
No.
They're
getting ready to ramp up and tout off, a new system probably for next fall.
That's the other part. Be? What the fuck are you talking about? We're making new systems. What is it? What could it possibly be? How much is it?
The latest projections now for a PS6 are now late 2028.
That seems correct.
And that makes sense when you put out a pro model. Like, I would be very happy if they were like, "Hey, next fall." Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Because again, we're talking about like with the PS5, even the base model. I have a base, you have a pro. Even the base model, you cannot tell me we're getting much better than what some of the shit I'm seeing.
My big argument for that now is look at Death Stranding 2.
There's that.
It doesn't look much better on a pro. And you cannot tell me that game, like, it is, we're 5 years into this generation. That is the first game I've looked at this generation gone, okay, we seem like we've really tapped into what this system can do. Yeah.
Right. Well,
it's a game that's on one platform.
I played Ghost of Tsushima, just that prologue thing, and I think that game is one of the greatest looking games I've ever seen.
And that's 5 years old.
And the next one's coming.
Yeah.
Like, you imagine how much better could that one look than this? But I believe it. With Xbox, I don't believe a damn thing.
No.
At all.
But Perfect Dark was smoke and mirrors.
It was. Yeah. Even if it was playable, and even if it was only playable under those specific circumstances that the guy in the trailer had to do to make that happen, that doesn't mean it's an actual, like, working game.
Right.
No. I will say the only things I believe out of Microsoft now is I do believe we've seen it. I believe Gears E-Day will come out. There's no way in which I think
that's probably too far along to not come out.
I think that's a guaranteed. I think that whatever this Halo project is, that I think a lot of people are going to be disappointed when it's revealed. Which I put that in the news too. It's going to be revealed in October. I think that is far enough along that you'll get that. Is it going to be good? I don't know.
If it's what you told me, where it's just a remake of that with no
the first game with no multiplayer,
I don't need it.
I don't know if even that. I still don't think. I don't even think the PlayStation people would be excited for that. No, because they're going to want the multiplayer too.
Yeah, so the appeal of the game.
That's the rumor going around right now. Is it's just a remake of the first campaign and that's it. And I told you, like, you're going to sell that to people for $80.
That better be $40 at most.
Yeah, it better be cheaper than $80, or boy, that's dead in the water. But like I said before, we've kind of had this sentiment going forward for a while, but now we're really at the point where it's like, I don't know anyone on this earth that would go out and buy an Xbox today. For what? What is the point? I've been looking at it the last, couple of months, and especially now I'm like, what can I just re-get on the PlayStation? And just at this point, I'm just going to play everything there. Like, there's some things that I have tied to the Xbox. Like I always have to play Rock Band there if I want to play Rock Band, but I'm not buying thousands of songs again. But
there's not even physical discs. Not that that's a huge deal anymore as we get further and further into this, but like they've already punted on it. It's gone.
They updated their Facebook banner today because Tony Hawk's out on Game Pass today. And it's very telling where their mindset is. In the very middle of the graphic is a Series X digital edition, the white one. So, and I laughed when I saw it. I was like, that's where they're at. So, I don't know, man. Like, it's just, I've never been more bummed on that brand and that system than I am right now.
I'm just so over it because I'm over like the lies, like the constant like pumping it up, and they never deliver anything. They haven't delivered.
They delivered you Starfield 2 years late.
Whoops. 2 years late and a year early at the same time somehow.
How has that not been announced for PlayStation yet?
Because it's dead and it's over. They don't give a shit about it. It's gone.
Well, they do keep talking about doing another DLC for it. So that's the only thing I can think of realistically is
who's playing it.
But once that's done, then you get your complete edition.
Yeah, I guess so. But at that point, it's far too late.
But again, if you woke up tomorrow and you open up the IGN app and it says Starfield's coming to PlayStation on October 13th this year, it'll be the top of that digital storefront. Number one selling game.
And I'll wishlist it and pay half price for it.
Exactly. Again, this past month they put up the statistics or whatever, I think for May for the best selling games. Number 2 through 5, Microsoft Studio games.
Right.
For PlayStation. So,
but it's because
people are willing to buy them there, though.
But it's because it's new stuff. If it was the kind of thing where it was like, okay, well, we did 4. Which Horizon did they do? 5?
It's a 5, which is a 4-year-old game.
But if they did Horizon 4, not as many people are going to be in on it.
Yeah,
like it's
new to the PlayStation.
It's new to them.
Yeah,
right. That's what I'm saying. Like that's why they're excited.
Like Gears is going to be huge on PlayStation.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'll be a top selling game of the year.
Absolutely,
because of that.
Mm-hmm.
So 20-year-old game will be a top selling, but it's true. So, I mean, hell, you and I are going to buy it. It's $40, and it's. I'm glad that there's a physical copy of that, and it's all on the disc.
Yes. That's the main reason.
Look at that and go, boy, this is fucking weird.
That's the main
Gears
reason
on PS5. Yeah, that's the main reason.
I'm going to buy it right away.
And I love that campaign.
Yeah, game's fun.
That game's great.
But we should probably just get in more like this Phil Spencer stuff. But it's like,
what a bummer. He should start down.
If you start to go back and you start to like go through things he said last year and the year before, it's like there's just a huge pattern of everything being lies. And like, yes, I know he is not the one that's in charge of everything. Yes, I know he's not the one that is in charge of deciding who and what gets fired when. But he has a hand in it. He is a big part of it. He has to report all of this stuff to people above him. And the people above him are budget people, number crunching people who don't know what the fuck an Xbox is, other than this isn't making me money. Like,
correct.
So somebody has to take the blame. But here's the thing. Phil put that blame and that responsibility on himself.
He did.
By becoming, remember when they made like Xbox Game Studios? Like they're like, we're making this a thing. I'm in charge. I'm taking over. I'm going to make the games. I'm going to Japan and I'm getting Final Fantasy on the fucking Xbox. He did it. But that's all he did. He got he brought me Phantasy Star Online. I appreciate that. That's all you did. Everything else is a lie. You convinced everybody that this $70 billion purchase of Activision was going to save everything. And all it did was help kill everything. Mm-hmm. But don't worry, Call of Duty is safe. Don't worry.
Here's a quote from Phil Spencer from February this year. I was recently out at Rare. It's nice to see the team with Everwild and the progress that they're making. It's like a dream that Matt Booty and I have had for a long time, so it's finally good to be there. We can give those teams time. That was February.
Remember, Matt Booty is just as guilty for all this stuff because he's like, we're going to give these guys time to do stuff. But now, because after all these other failures, like we closed Arcane, we closed Tango, we closed all this stuff. After all of those failures, we understand that we need to support these studios. I need to go out there. I need to help them do stuff. We need to, as a company. Now, instead, you're closed, you're closed, you're closed, you're closed. Who's next?
about the great graphic I sent you that breaks everything down? Phil Spencer is the worst leader in gaming history. In his tenure, Phil Spencer has closed 6 studios, canceled multiple games, and fired 6,750 gaming division employees.
And you know what?
Canceled.
Maybe those numbers wouldn't be so bad if he'd actually released any fucking games during that time.
Yeah.
But he hasn't.
Here are some of the canceled games there's a couple in here you're gonna laugh at. There's this. Some of these obviously are recent. ZeniMax MMORPG, Ghostwire Tokyo 2, Hi-Fi Rush 2, remember Black Tusk Studio, whatever they were working on, canceled. The Halo Battle Royale, Perfect Dark, Everwild, Fable Legends.
That was the other Fable game.
Your favorite one has been mentioned in a long time. Scalebound.
Oh, my Beats headset.
We want to go back.
Game.
Some of the key personnel that have left.
I've seen more Scalebound than Fable. By the way.
I saw more of that game than I've seen of Fable. Yeah, I agree with you on that. Some of the key personnel that he's lost. Again, he didn't fire all these people. These are people that also have left. Shinji Mikami, when they bought that studio, he left and started another studio. Mm-hmm. Joseph Staten, the writer of Halo. One of the other big, and I always forget about this one, and I always laugh. Rob Ferguson from Coalition, he left. Recently, the founder of Playground Games, he left too. Like, it's just, and then the studios that he has closed since he has been there are Arcane Austin, The Initiative, Lionhead, Roundhouse Studios, Tango Gameworks, and Alpha Dog. So all this has happened under him.
And some of these, like Arcane, that's a big studio. They made a successful
Arcane, it was one of the Arcanes, but
yeah. But like they were a part of it.
Yes, they did also make Redfall, but
but again,
before that,
but Redfall again, another game where Microsoft admitted we didn't help them do shit. We let them fail.
No, that was the thing. Yeah. Like after that, when that came out,
that was the game where they had to apologize. They had to give people refunds, and that was the one that prompted them to be like, "We're sorry. We really should have done better."
Yes,
and now So did you try to do better with the Initiative and try to bring in an outside company to help them make that? An outside company, like I said before, cannot figure out how to make another Tomb Raider game after they just made 3 of them and they were all pretty good. How come you can't figure out a 4th one?
Well, remember too, with that Tomb Raider was originally it was supposed to be just that one game was going to be like the story of her becoming Tomb Raider, and then they turned it into a trilogy. But it's like by the end of that 3rd game, you have now told that story. She is definitively Lara Croft as you know her. How hard is it to move forward?
Remember, didn't they even? Doesn't that game have a name?
What the
new Tomb Raider
one they're working on?
They were. No, remember there was like a document or something they released or something.
There was a document.
And they're like,
I don't remember what it was called.
We got it, but they can't figure it out.
They can't. Figure
every
it
report
out,
is they can't figure it out.
But hey, man,
the fuck are you talking about?
They're going to help make.
You're going to help me make this game, which is a complete and total rebuild of a game from 20 years ago.
I would argue the beloved game was 25 years ago.
Well, I like
Dark
them both.
Zero was a book.
I like them both.
I do like Perfect Dark Zero too, but it's not beloved.
But
no.
Yeah, I mean, this Microsoft thing is just everything about it is insane. I could give a shit if Xbox if they came out tomorrow, we're like, turns out we're actually done. Like, we're just done. We're not going to make Xboxes anymore, whatever. I'd probably say, okay. Because it kind of feels like that's where you're at already.
It's where they're at already. Like, it's not getting any better. I cannot envision, like, even next year when we get to showcase time, like, what are they going to announce? Right? Like, what are you going to believe when it's announced? Like, how much of that is actually going to
what am I going to care about? I don't believe for a second that any game that they announce that isn't Halo or Gears will ever come out.
Right?
We'll go back to those pillars, Halo, Gears, Forza. If it's not one of those 3, I don't believe it's real.
You don't think Black Ops 7? I'm kidding.
That's not them. But the thing is like, that's not them, though. Like, we're not talking about that's a Microsoft game studio. I know. It's not.
Outer Worlds publishing that.
Is tangentially them. Like, that's a game that existed anyway, and we're paying.
When Outer Worlds doesn't sell, because it's not going to sell $80, is that the end of Obsidian?
It's close because Avowed didn't sell either, homie. Like, it's
Avowed did terrible.
And
that was on Game Pass.
We're already riding the line, and we're about to cross over it with this. And when it doesn't sell, it's probably cheaper to fire everyone and keep some people and make them make ES6. Because again, of all of the stuff that isn't definitive right now, ES6 is the only thing that's guaranteed to make money.
It just, what it really seems like is, it seems like they're shedding anything that is not a guaranteed money making thing, and they're only keeping what will be successful for them. So you're seeing anything that's, I would consider a risk, being shed. Like
there's no more risks.
Like Everwild is a risk. Like at 6 years in, that's a risk.
Perfect Dark was a huge risk.
Perfect Dark was a huge risk because
Fable's probably middle level of a risk.
I would say it's a middle. Like the one thing that Fable has going for it is nostalgia, and that's kind of it. But even still, like the team that is making that game,
not
comprised of people that made a Fable game before.
Nope.
That team has only made racing games, so they know how to build an open world that's cool, because Horizon games have really good open worlds. But do they know how to make a fantasy RPG? I don't know. So, and we're gonna find out. But I don't know, man. Like I said, I've never been more bummed. Did you see? I don't know if I don't think I sent it to you today. Did you see like their gear store where you can buy like Xbox T-shirts and stuff was having a fire sale today of like just super cheap? Like I laughed when I saw it. So I'm like, yeah, that kind of also makes me think like maybe I'm gonna wake up one day and they're just like, hey, we're out. You know, we're gonna put all these games.
I think the first thing you see is they make an announcement about how we're not making physical games anymore, and they spin it as a good thing.
Yeah.
And then it just slowly winds down as to we're really more of a publisher. But I still think they're gonna do it, and they're gonna fucking try to release this next system. They're gonna do it.
The rumored modular, it's just a PC.
Yeah, I think they will.
Like
if they're trying to sell me $1,000 ROG Ally, they're gonna try to sell me $1,000 console. That's no fucking.
That's
different.
the other thing. Like if that thing comes out and it's that expensive, because it's a modular PC, because I cannot see if that's what it is. There is no way that thing is 5 or under in terms of price. It's not possible if it's a modular, unless you're getting the cheapest components that you can put in it. And then what would the point of that be? So, so I don't know. Their gamble makes no sense on that. But like I said, you can't trust any of this stuff. You can't trust any of the games.
And again, this next console, even if it is a modular PC, what actually is it? Is it an Xbox? Everything's an Xbox,
but it has other storefronts.
But it's not an Xbox, but it's Steam. At that point, I just buy a fucking computer that's this big and do it myself.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just, it's crazy.
Make a GameCube level piece, like size PC, and be good with that.
If you would have told me 20 years ago. Well, I mean, 20 years ago, if you had asked me to pick which one of these three wouldn't be around at that point, I probably would have said Xbox, because it just would have made the most sense. Because Nintendo's never going away. Like, in terms of Nintendo, just they can't. Sony seems like they care a lot about it. But Microsoft always had other things to fall back on.
Sony, it's their profitable brand, like subdivision.
Yeah.
Microsoft is not.
Subdivision, yeah.
Because they kept spending. But I also don't think you could have told me 20 years ago with the 360 coming out and everything that in 2025 I would not give a shit about the Xbox anymore. I just don't.
No, I would have never guessed that either. I mean,
even 10 years ago I wouldn't have told you. No way.
No, yeah, like I was in it so hard in that 360 generation.
Yeah, I love the 360, man.
The Xbox One is where I kind of wavered a little bit. And then, like, the PlayStation 4 just ended up being the better system.
The middle of the PS4 era is kind of when it turned around, and I was like, I think I'm out on an Xbox, because that was, if you think about it, that's really kind of when they stopped
Game Pass
making.
Hit. Yeah,
and if you think about it, that's really kind of when Xbox stopped having a lot of like exclusive stuff that wasn't just the yearly Forza or.
I always go back to 2016 as being like the last year they had what I would consider risky exclusives, because you had that Recore game that was a risky exclusive.
Trying something.
You had Dead Rising 4, kind of a risky exclusive. There's one other one I'm forgetting that was, but they were all games that were unique. Like you aren't going to see Microsoft put a game out like Recore in 2025.
No.
There's no way.
And that, you know what? And
that game's not bad either.
And that's why Scalebound died. That's when they stopped taking risks, which is insane because that was a platinum game and it was probably going to sell well to the people who gave a shit about it. But yes, it wasn't a mass appeal game. Yeah. And they tried a little bit more, but they tried it more with like Grounded and Pentiment, where they weren't huge games that they took a risk on. They were smaller things they took a risk on.
Yeah, and I don't think you're going to see anything like that either.
No,
Pentiment.
I think those are gone too. They put them on PlayStation and let them sell, and now they let them die. Grounded, you're getting a new one. Wow.
Grounded, you're getting a new one probably more because they made a better engine for it.
They can make more money off it.
They can make more money off it, and it's launching on everything. Switch.
Yep. Switch is where that game's going to do better.
Yes, very well, very, very much. So, but yeah, it's like I said, it's just every time I've even thought about like, well, I have this game I could play on the Xbox, I'm just not feeling it. So it's a very weird time. So we'll see. We'll see what the rest of the year holds for them. But I
don't have high hopes for them at all.
I don't have high hopes. Like it's the other thing I thought the other day is like my Game Pass subscription finally is done in October. And this is the first time now where I've been like, I don't know if I re-up that. Like I haven't decided. So just because I'm not really playing anything there. So but then I think like, well, there's, I can always play on PC. So I haven't decided yet, but like, I will say this has leaned me into questioning re-upping that.
I find myself literally at the point where I just don't care.
Yeah.
When I go to the store and I like Walmart or anything, and I'm always looking at like the video games, looking for clearance stuff. I'm always looking for PlayStation and Switch clearance stuff. Xbox stuff is always on clearance, and I just don't care.
There's not even that much of it anymore.
No, there isn't. But what there is clearance, and I don't care.
Yeah. Told you, like my Walmart, they like it used to be 2 aisles. So the one aisle was PlayStation and Xbox, and then there was other like we'll call it a half aisle that was Switch. They're not all in one aisle.
Mm-hmm.
And the Xbox section is like maybe a little 4-foot section that has like maybe 10 games that are recent and not very many copies of them. And then stashed in that case at the bottom, ton of clearance stuff. So compared to like Switch, obviously that section expanded, Switch and Switch 2, and then PlayStation being the biggest one. The other thing too, I'll say is like, while they did raise the prices of those systems, I never see any of them in the store.
Yeah, it doesn't mean
I never see
they don't have them because nobody's
no,
buying
and that's
them.
what I'm saying is like I don't see any of them because I don't think they're making that many of them anymore.
I don't think Walmart's ordering them anymore. If you want an
Probably
Xbox, just get it through Microsoft. But you better not want a controller. A custom controller.
They got controllers.
Not custom.
Oh yeah, did I put that in here too? I don't know if I put that. I didn't put it in here, but the Xbox controller design lab or whatever. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that has been on hiatus for over 6 months. And I don't think it's coming back. I never did one.
I never did
because I didn't want to use it. Like if I bought one, it would be for display purposes. And I always wanted to make that orange controller because I never made one. That's my favorite color. So, we can put a nail in the Xbox stuff for now.
I'm sure in the next 2 weeks they'll do something else. And
they'll do something right
back to it.
Yeah. It seems like they can't stop stepping on the rakes. So as I like to say,
they can't stop laying the rakes out in front of themselves.
No, they can't. But hey, man, as they step on those rakes, they'll sure smile and tell you everything's okay.
We've never had better rakes.
Never.